It's Sunday the 30th of November and I'm approaching Pearse Street Garda station here to hand in a letter to notify them that I'm on my way to protest at St Andrew's Church and at O'Callaghan's Hotel where Dermot Martin has a function there today. Good morning. I have a letter here for the desk sergeant just to notify him of my intent to protest today at St Andrew's Church and O'Callaghan's Hotel. Just myself, peaceful protest.
What's the purpose of it?
Dermot Martin is at the church today and he's also at the function.
Who is?
Dermot Martin, Archbishop.
Alright, okay.
So it's in relation to the Roman Catholic Church. I'm now approaching O'Callaghan's Alexander Hotel where Dermot Martin and the Roman Catholic Church will be holding a function in here today. I'm handing in this letter now to notify them of my intent to protest. Hello, good morning. Letter for the manager. I believe Dermot Martin, Roman Catholic Church, are having a meeting here today, function?
Yes, absolutely. We'll be straight down the stairs.
No, I won't. I'm protesting outside. That's just to notify you. I'll be here between 11:45 and probably 3:30 or whatever time is necessary until the end of the function.
Okay.
Garda have been notified as well that I'm protesting here. I'm alone, private, peaceful protest. Dermot Martin knows what it's about.
Would you like to speak to the manager, or is...
No, that's fine.
I can pass this on to them if you like.
That'll do, perfect.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you very much. So Garda have been notified, and now the hotel have been notified of my intent to protest here today. The Roman Catholic Church, under the command of Dermot Martin and the Archdiocese of Dublin, already know. I've notified them as well. So I'm exercising my legal right to protest here today outside St Andrew's Roman Catholic Church here, Pearse Street in Dublin, 30th of November 2014, where Dermot Martin will be present. Donations are going to solicitors' letters to silence people who are speaking out about the cover-up of the Roman Catholic Church. This is where all your money is going to. Best solicitors in Ireland used to silence people. This is what Dermot Martin's spending your money on. Solicitors' letters to silence people. Raping children and burying their bodies and covering it up. Hundreds of years. Abuse of children, raping children, burying their bodies in mass graves. are guilty of the genocide of our children, raping our children and dumping their bodies in mass graves, going into mass and pretending yous are all religious and yous are all God-fearing. Yous are all hypocrites, raping children and dumping their graves and dumping their bodies in mass graves. Look at Dermot Martin, and with his frock on him. Fancy frocks, hiding behind fancy frocks and big fancy hats, covering up the rape of children for hundreds of years in Ireland. You hypocrites. All your donations now are going for solicitors to silence people who are speaking out about the cover-up of mass graves in the Archdiocese of Dublin. Bodies found in the Magdalen Laundry in Hyde Park. Now, what about the other Magdalen laundries? What about Sean McDermott Street? How many bodies are buried in Sean McDermott Street Magdalen Laundry? Dermot Martin's not telling you about that. I met Dermot Martin in 2012 and I brought him evidence. He's denying the conversation took place, but I had it recorded. Sorry. Yeah, hypocrites. Hiding behind solicitors, hiding behind Gardaí. That's all you have ever done. Hide behind the law in Ireland. Raping children, dumping their bodies in mass graves throughout Ireland. Mass graves. Archdiocese of Dublin, every diocese in Ireland has mass graves of children. Hypocrites. Hypocrites of the Roman Catholic Church in Ireland. Paying for solicitors to silence people. There's your solicitors you are using. You won't silence me. You have silenced people for hundreds of years. You rape children to silence them. You hypocrites. Roman Catholic Church hypocrites. Raping children, abusing children all over the world. They're guilty of the genocide of our children for hundreds of years. Hundreds of years. Look at the ones that are covering up, defending. They wouldn't even come out and defend themselves. They have their congregations doing it for them. Dermot Martin knows he can't defend himself. He knows the bodies that are still buried in the Archdiocese of Dublin. He knows what's coming. He hasn't told you yet. Wait till you see what's coming in the Archdiocese of Dublin. Sorry. Yeah, no, I'm not stopping. I'm trying to shout out here.
We don't want to hear you, okay? Go somewhere else.
Go to the Gardaí if you have a problem with it. I have a right to. Well, go to the guards. I have a right to do it. I have a right to shout. I have a right to shout.
Nobody's listening to you.
I don't care. So you're listening to me. You must hear me.
Pissing people off.
That's the idea. Yeah. It stops them raping children, doesn't it?
Cop yourself.
Doesn't it? It stops them raping children. Stops them raping children. Are you defending rapists? What ways? What way are you doing it?
I'm not.
What way are you doing it?
My own business.
What way? Well, you go and mind your own business. You're not now.
Yeah, but you're interfering.
You're disturbing it. You're disturbing a protest.
Disturbing the peace.
Go to the guards about it. That's their job.
Cop yourself.
Get about your business. Roman Catholic Church, guilty of the genocide of children in Ireland for hundreds of years. Congregation out defending them. He sent me a solicitor's letter to try and silence me on the 9th of July. It didn't work. Dermot Martin was told the same as that man was told. Go to the guards if you think I'm doing something wrong. Don't be trying to frighten me with solicitor's letters. Your congregation might defend you. They might donate for your solicitors, but they will not silence me. They will not silence me. The Mishas to them all. Migalna will fuckle the one Gilligogot. I have a right to be in there. Show me cheer show.
Back to Scotland.
Wrong. See, you haven't even a clue. Migalna will. Yeah, Cardinal Keith O'Brien covering up rape of children. Cardinal Keith O'Brien. Dermot Martin and Cardinal Keith O'Brien here in 2012. He covered up an audit in 2011 in Scotland. That's what's going on in Scotland. I know what's going on there too. You don't. Get about your business. Mind your own business. I'll mind mine. Your donations are being used to silence people who are speaking out about the cover-up of mass graves in Ireland. Archbishop Dermot Martin is blaming Irish society for their crimes. In a letter in 2014, in June the 12th, Dermot Martin blamed Irish society for the crimes of the Roman Catholic Church. I am part of Irish society. I didn't dump babies in mass graves. I didn't rape altar boys. Roman Catholic Church have to put their hands up for their crimes. Dermot Martin hasn't told you about the mass graves in the Archdiocese of Dublin, has he? That'll be the next shocker coming. Yes, they'll still defend them. If you were standing watching them raping children and burying their bodies, you would still defend them. No matter what truth comes out, you'll still defend them. You'll still go in there. You think Jesus Christ is in there. You think God is in there. There's nothing in there but Satan. And you have proved it. Who else would rape children but Satanists? Who would dump children in mass grave but Satanists? There's no Jesus Christ going in there. You think raping children and dumping bodies is very funny. It's all a great laugh. If you were standing watching them raping the children, you would still defend them. No matter what evidence is put in front of you, you still defend them. You are hypocrites. Dermot Martin has been asked to come out here today and meet me. He wouldn't because he can't defend himself. Instead, Dermot Martin will send solicitors' letters to try and silence me. He won't meet, he won't talk. He knows what's coming. He knows about the mass graves in the Archdiocese of Dublin. He'll try to wash his hands of it. Didn't happen when I was here. That's no excuse. He was in Rome when it happened. He was in the Vatican when all this happened. He knew what was happening in Ireland. He knew in the 70s. He knew in the 80s. He knew in the 90s. He knew in 2000s. He knew. This morning. It's a disgrace, raping children and dumping babies in mass graves. It's a disgrace. They won't even defend themselves. You're defending them. Why is it women? It's women. You're a mother. Well, then you should tell them to stop raping children and dumping bodies. Dumping children's bodies. You should be ashamed of yourself. How's some detour to avoid me this morning? Some detour to avoid me this morning. Oh, yeah. I've been here now, this is my 4th year. Dermot Martin comes in the front. Are you scared now?
Oh, we thought there was a crane in the alleyway.
We what?
We thought there was a crane blocking the alleyway.
Latest excuse.
That's what we thought.
Yeah.
That's why we went down back.
He's afraid. Did he not? He knows why he's hiding. He doesn't tell you why he's hiding. He's not telling his deluded congregation either. The days of meeting me and talking to me are over. And I tell you, the solicitor's letters won't silence me either. And he knows it. He knows what's coming. You don't. I do.
How are you?
All right, how are you?
Is your car, is it?
No. Somebody in the church.
Huh?
Somebody in the church.
Walking the path, and obviously you can't shout obscenities or anything.
That what?
You know, you couldn't shout obscenities or
I
anything.
didn't shout any obscenities.
No, I'm not saying. I'm saying within, you know, you're protesting rights yourself.
Appreciate that, yeah.
That's all it is.
That's grand. Thank
All
you.
right.
Appreciate that. Thanks
No
a million.
problem.
Thank you. Bye-bye. It's very interesting. This car that the Garda asked me about is parked here in a bus lane. As you can see here in a double yellow line right outside the church. And when I informed her that the car wasn't mine, it belonged to someone in the church, she took no action. Yet she was able to warn me that if I shouted obscenities and that if I had stuff on the pavement, that she would take action. This is what the Roman Catholic Church have in Ireland, of the Gardaí on their side in every matter, right down to matters like this. That was my car, no doubt, towed away, ticketed, no problem, because it's somebody is connected to the Roman Catholic Church in Ireland. No action will be taken. Outside every church in Ireland on a Sunday we have the same. They turn a blind eye. If you turn a blind eye to the little crimes, you'll turn a blind eye to the big ones. And in Garda Síochána in Ireland have proven that decade after decade after decade. Well, I sent him an email and I asked him if he met me here and spoke to me that I wouldn't protest at the hotel. So that offer still stands for him. So if he comes out and speaks to me, I'll cancel my protest at the hotel, otherwise I'll be there all day. You can tell him that. So let's have a look at the alley that Dermot Martin's driver said he got notification that there was a crane here. This is the alley. And there's his driver down there. You can see him down there in the distance, beside the car. The car is parked in there. And he said that the reason that Dermot Martin gave me the slip this morning was because he got a report that there was a crane. He drove past here and you can see that there's no crane. He went round the back, and when I followed him there, he could have gone in the back entrance, but he didn't. He drove around and came all this way around here. There he is out for his stroll. What a lie that is. Donegal?
I'm going to get facts.
Sorry?
Get your facts.
Facts about what?
Yeah.
Sorry?
You're going to talk to the governor of the jail, and he'll tell you.
Governor of what jail?
You're bang on right.
Governor of what are you talking about?
Paedophilia.
Yeah.
No. Get your facts about the Catholic Church.
Yeah, biggest paedophile organisation in the world.
Absolute rubbish.
Absolute truth. Raping children. Roman Catholic Church in Ireland, guilty of mass graves, covering up mass graves of innocent children, locking mothers and babies up in prison camps, dumping them in mass graves, raping children en masse in Ireland for decades, for hundreds of years. Covered up by Dermot Martin. Mass graves in the Archdiocese of Dublin. Mass graves of innocent children in Ireland. Covered up by the Roman Catholic Church. Mass graves in the Archdiocese of Dublin. Dermot Martin's not telling his congregation about the mass graves in the Archdiocese of Dublin. Washing their hands of all responsibility. Guilty of raping children. Guilty of dumping their bodies in mass graves. Locking innocent mothers up in prison camps, torturing them, dumping their babies in mass graves. Murderers. Roman Catholic cover up of mass graves in Ireland. Cover up of rape. Roman Catholic Church cover up of mass graves in the Archdiocese of Dublin. Covered up by Dermot Martin. Dermot Martin knows what's coming in Ireland. He's deluding his congregation. He knows what's coming. Roman Catholic Church cover up of mass graves in Ireland. Cover up of mother and baby prison camps. Throwing babies into mass graves. Despicable. No shame on the Roman Catholic Church in Ireland. Dermot Martin knows all about the bodies and the mass graves in the Archdiocese of Dublin. No shame. Raping children and dumping their bodies in mass graves in Ireland. Getting away scot-free, hiding behind judges, hiding behind Roman Catholic Church cover-up of rape of children, dumping innocent children in mass graves in Ireland, raping children, getting away with it scot-free, hiding behind the courts, hiding behind solicitors, hiding behind Gardaí. Dermot Martin knows what's coming. Dermot Martin knows about the mass graves in the Archdiocese of Dublin. It's not confined to Tuam. Dermot Martin knows. Cover-up of mass graves in Ireland. Cover-up of rape of children. Hiding behind guards, hiding behind courts, hiding behind judges. Raping children worldwide. Shame of the Catholic Church. Roman Empire in Ireland. Raping children all over the world. Raping them in the Philippines. Raping them in Ireland. What, nearly 300 countries in the world where they raped and abused children. Mother and baby prison camps, mass graves. Shame on you. Shame on you funding this evil church. Cover up after cover up of the rape of children. Thank you. Selling children worldwide, stealing babies off vulnerable mothers, locking them up in prison camps, Magdalene Laundry prison camps, torture camps, profiting from them. What an evil, evil, evil organisation. Catholic Church, the most evil organisation in the world, raping children, dumping bodies in mass graves. I don't want to talk to you. Go away from me. Go away from you. Go away from me. I don't want to talk to a priest. The one who's near me has destroyed our country. You destroyed my community, destroyed my family, my life. I don't want to talk to you. Your colour represents evil. Dumped in graves, how cold do you think they are? How cold do you think they are? That's all you're so worried about, your own cold. What about the cold graves?
If you've got any information on the graves,
Listen,
I've told you before what to do.
Yeah, what did you tell me to do?
Go to the Garda
Right,
Síochána.
okay, let's deal with that one. 1975, the Gardaí knew about the mass grave in Tuam, right?
I don't know that. Yeah.
Why do you not know that? I know it, you should know it.
You go to the Garda.
Right, listen. There's no crime being reported. The Gardaí, and you know and I know, that the Gardaí won't investigate unless there's a crime. There's nobody alleging there's a crime. I am not. I'm saying there's bodies there.